This video brought to you in part by these fantastic sponsors.
Greetings, Masters. Well, Alibaba had him 40 thieves. Scheherazade had 1,000 tails. But Masters, you're in luck, cause up your sleeves, you got a shotgun Shogun that never fails. Scheherazade, the 5-star chocolate caster of the Nightless City. 9,212 attack and 15,846 hit points when maxed out. Her abysmal 9,212 attack puts her around the same level as some of the 4-star casters, but that 15,846 hit points makes her extra thick. She blows away the current thickness holder Tamamo by over 1,500 hit points. A 3 arts, 1 quick, 1 buster deck is always a welcome caster deck. 3 hits on the arts, 4 on the quick, and 4 on the buster. Star absorption of 52 is on the upper side of the range for casters, but still not great. 10.8% on the generation is middle of the road for casters, but it is nice with the 3 hits on the quick card. If for some reason you're using her to make stars, you will want to run a Buster Arts quick to net around 10 to 17 stars. If you pop that quick in the 3rd spot, you will be getting around 7 to 8 stars just from that single quick. Her NP gain on attack is 0.51% and on defense is 3%. The 0.51% is average of 3-hit arts toting casters, and seeing as she can create her own arts chain, and while the NP gain is not overwhelming, it is a respectable 34%. To put that into perspective, Tamamo clocks in at around 33% on arts chains. Nidacris is around 37%, so at 34% she isn't too bad at all. Not really much to talk about here in traits outside of female. Her first skill, Storyteller EX, charge reduction plus arts increase. It is a double-edged sword, however. Do you want to use it to increase your arts, or are you going to save it for that clutch NP drain? It is similar to this steroid plus defense skill, though to be fair, she isn't really a massive powerhouse of attack, so it might be easier for you to hold on to this one for Npd reduction. You will need to get this to rank 10 to get the 100% chance on reduction. However, 30% arts increase comes along with that, and that is actually pretty respectable. Bed Chambers of Survival A+, sounds like a D&D campaign thought up by some 14-year-olds that just started playing the game, but the skill is going to charm all male enemies and increases Scheherazade's defense for 2 turns. Even at max rank, you can only have a 60% chance, which isn't great. The 40% increase to defense is pretty decent though, and adds another C onto the already beefy thickness. Her 3rd skill, Counter Hero A, tosses a 1-shot guts onto her that sticks around for 5 turns, as well as reduces a king enemy's attack for 1 turn. This is a bit niche, but just toss another defensive ability onto the pile. This starts off as a 1,000 hit point revive. It will get up to 3,000 hit points and all the way up to a 50% attack down on a king. So using this in the case of an NP firing off will help some of the defenseless characters shrug off a noble phantasm. This does get an upgrade in the future, which grants the party a 2-turn 1-shot guts. So that actually helps out a lot to make this much more viable. Overall, her kit is very selfish and defensive, which is very odd considering she is a offensive caster. This is probably why her noble phantasm has to make up for the defensive kit and is much more offensive focused. 1,001 Knights. Anti-King AoE Noble Phantasm, which not only increases NP damage by 20% ahead of time, but also deals extra damage to kings and queens. At just overcharge 1, it is going to be dealing double damage and scales upwards from there. In other words, she's going to hit like a single target servant against kings despite being AoE. However, Scheherazade's horrible attack stat means that this still doesn't really amount to all of that much. Good thing it gets an interlude in the future. Once this thick girl gets buffed, she becomes a force to be reckoned with, well, against kings and queens anyways. Post interlude, this will also hit anyone surviving with a 50% debuff resistance down for 3 turns, which will help out with that charm. Her only passive is Territory Creation A++. It is a solid one, increasing her arts performance by 11.5, but I do wish she had a few more to help things out, but better than a single passive that wouldn't add much to her kit. Ascension materials are going to be alright: 6 feathers, 8 snake jewels, 9 lamps, and 5 wines. Her skills, however, are going to be a little bit rough: 12 jewels, 12 feathers, 24 seashells, and 10 scarabs per skill. If you are going to level her skills, I would suggest the first followed by the second, and then leaving the third skill for the last. Her first skill will increase her abysmal damage. Her second skill is very good for survival and a possible charm. A lot of what she does relies on her noble phantasm, so you will want craft essences that increase that damage output. Black Rail is the most reliable go-to for that. You can also use Heaven's Feel if Black Rail is not available. Alternatively, you can focus on things like Prisma Cosmos for the flat per turn NP gain, or if you want to go with things like Cute Orangeette, Holy Knight of Learning, or Azure Magical Girl to increase her overall NP generation. Seeing as she is meant to be a damage dealer but doesn't have much in the way of damage, you will want to bring some supporters to help her out. Caster Gil is an amazing team member to provide stars as well as art support. Your typical Tamamo and or Waver are also great and can provide tons of arts chains. You could also pair her up with a Helena for more NP charge and arts damage, as well as dropping Helena's NP to decrease defense, giving you much more oomph on your own NP. Overall, Scheherazade on release is not great. While she is dummy thick, she is also really bad at doing what she is meant to do. That is, damage. Having a very defensive greedy kit is very underwhelming, and it feels like the people who designed her really didn't know what they actually wanted her to do. Granted, with the right setup and investment, she is usable, but realistically you can bring people who can do her job way better. After her buff, she does become strong against her favored enemies, but that's a very niche group of servants, and even then you can most likely bring someone who can do more and better damage reliably. Her upside, though, is that she is really beefy for a caster. Having the defense up, having guts, having an NP charge down allows her to stick around and, eventually wear the enemy down. She is not limited, so if you're not going for her specifically, you do have a chance for her in the future to be spooked, and this is going to happen when you're rolling for Merlin or caster Nero. Oof. But do I think that you should roll for her? No, not really. Unless it's for waifu purposes, then have at it, but I do think that there are much better ways for you to use your quartz during this banner or in the near future. But let me know in the comments what you think about the caster of the Nightless City, this super dummy thick chocolate caster. But I would like to take this time to thank all of these lovely Patreons. You guys are fantastic and the backbone of the content that I make. If you would like to join them, though, there is a link down in the description. Go ahead, sign up for whatever tier you feel comfortable with. But if you would like to help out the channel, just hit that subscribe button, smash that bell notification, drop me a like and a comment, and I will catch you on the next one. Take it easy, Masters. Peace.